Good morning, everyone. This is Lady Dragon speaking. It is Wednesday, January 8th. It's 11:20. Well, just turned 28 a.m. now. Sam is with me. Now, today and tomorrow will be about showing you. Sit down, Sam, please. The keynotes presentation that have been made all week. Okay. Because while we were doing the press conference on Monday and Tuesday, they were keynote presentation that I could not show you. So it's not a problem because CES has done their website very well this year. It's all there. So we can replay it and listen to it and discuss this together. So this is what we're going to do the next 2 days, and actually there's a lot. So it's going to actually take weeks, I think, because I'm not going to do all this all day long because I have products that I want to show you. But we will start with a keynote today. Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, puis demain, puis dans les prochaines semaines, on va faire des keynotes. Ça veut dire quoi, ça, des keynote presentations? Ça veut dire que c'est des personnes qui viennent parler des affaires. Okay? Puis c'est vraiment, vraiment, vraiment intéressant. J'adore écouter ça, moi. Tu apprends beaucoup de choses avec ça. I really love this. It's very, very educational. Okay? Sam is saying hello to everybody. So, today, bon, c'est ça que je disais là, avec ça, m'interromps. Ça va prendre des semaines avant qu'on passe au travail de toutes les keynotes parce que il y a 4500 compagnies qui sont là, présentement. There are 4,500 companies that are there presently. So me, how do I go about it? I go about it with the categories or products that just falls into my lap. And I have half a dozen. I prepared that yesterday night for you. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to start with keynotes. I have to put the curtain on some window and fix the scroll box because the deer massacred it. After that, I'm going to sit down with you and we're going to do the companies that I want to show you. They're very, very interesting. Bon, aujourd'hui, ce qu'on va faire, c'est que là, il faut que je fasse la fenêtre à Sam. Il faut que je mette les curtains à Sam, là, les rideaux de la fenêtre à Sam. Après ça, il faut que je répare la boîte des écureuils. Mes chevreuils, tout massacré ça. Après ça, je vais m'asseoir avec vous autres. Puis hier, j'ai préparé 6 compagnies pour vous autres à vous montrer. Ça va être super intéressant. On va regarder ça. Donc, pendant que je fais tout ça, on va écouter les keynotes. On a plusieurs. On a commencé avec celui-ci que je vais vous expliquer. Après ça, on va passer à l'autre, à l'autre, à l'autre. Quand je vais finir avec tout ça, on va s'asseoir puis je vais vous montrer des compagnies. Il y a 4500 compagnies. Ça va prendre toute l'année à faire ça. Fait que c'est un journey. C'est pas un sprint. So we're going to spend all year looking at all these great new products and new companies. So it's not going to be a one-day thing. It's a journey. It's going to take the entire year. No joke. Okay. So we're going to start today with this is how we're going to start the day. We're going to start today with this one. If you look at the title, I'm going to explain to you the title because some people might not be familiar with disruptive technologies. So this gentleman that's going to come, he's going to come and show us stuff and talk to you about stuff that is going to be disruptive technology and to look for them at the CES. Okay, so what does that mean? You say, hey, Dragon, what does that mean, disruptive technologies? Just hold on a second, I'll explain to you. Là, on va regarder les keynote speakers avec un monsieur qui va expliquer la disruptive technologies, OK? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire, ça? Des technologies disruptives, OK? Les technologies disruptives, c'est des technologies qui vont changer la direction de quelque chose, OK? Exemple. Très bon exemple pour le monde qui ne comprend pas c'est quoi. C'est très simple. Okay? Moi non plus, je commence à pas savoir au début. Mais c'est vraiment important. Moi, je suis sur les disruptive technology parce que c'est très, très, très important. You know, it's very important because this is what I follow. When I see a technology, I don't want to know if this laptop is 25% more, this, I don't care. But if this laptop does something else, you know, or this computer doesn't do something else, like NVIDIA, you must watch NVIDIA. Now NVIDIA came with a new computer. Well, that is a disruptive technology that I care to spend my time and study and show it to you. You understand? Comme la conférence d'NVIDIA qu'il faut vous regarder, à la fin, ils vont montrer un nouveau computer. Moi, ça ne m'intéresse pas de regarder des technologies que, au lieu d'être 5 fois plus et 10 fois plus, je m'en fous, moi, de ça. Moi, je cherche des technologies nouvelles, des vraies technologies nouvelles, OK? Comme dans la conférence de NVIDIA, où à la fin, ils ont montré un nouveau computer tout petit. Ça, c'est un disruptive technology. Puis ça, c'est important à savoir. Understand? So, this gentleman will explain to us what he thinks that will be the disruptive technologies. So, we'll discuss this after. Here we go. C'est pas long, hein? C'est vraiment pas long, ces affaires-là. Là. C'est 39 minutes. It's not long, eh? It's only 39 minutes. So, it's cool because we have a bunch, but we can do a bunch, okay? Bon, on commence. Thank you for joining, by the way. Merci d'être venu. Fait qu'on commence avec ce keynote-là.
Please join us in welcoming Brian Comiskey to the stage.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for joining us at CES 2025 and for attending Research Summit. We have an incredible lineup of sessions, speakers, and content that will offer key insights on the latest developments in the tech industry. I'm so excited to get started today by walking through emerging trends, shaping technology, and innovation. Innovation is tangible. We can touch it and feel it. We know it when we see it. When we face an obstacle, a challenge, or a conflict, humans adapt, create, or design technology to provide solutions. Technology defines how we coexist and work together in the modern enterprise. It secures our shared future, improves our communities, and it can lengthen our individual lives. CES 2025 is the window to tomorrow's world, defining and showcasing how human-centric innovation is redefining our lives. And for those who do not know me, I'm Brian Comiskey. I'm the Senior Director of Innovation and Trends and Futurist at CTA. This QR code on the screen allows you to connect with me on LinkedIn, so please continue the conversation with me after our session today is over. At CTA, I oversee our partnership that's going on 15 years this year with NASDAQ, where we develop tech-focused indexes that power many of the world's largest thematic exchange-traded funds, unlocking investment into innovation. In fact, we're actually going to see a panel later today at Research Summit from NASDAQ and Invesco QQQ showcasing the role in defining tomorrow's tech. Beyond this partnership, my job as a futurist is to look globally at what is shaping our future, to understand how today's technologies are turning and evolving into tomorrow's trends and innovations. We're going to discuss many technologies today because breakthroughs in one technology often influence the advances of another. Because like the humans they benefit, they're never just one thing. And if you'd like to follow along with today's slides, you'll see another QR code on the screen here, which takes you to today's presentation. Don't worry, you're going to see this code again after the presentation. So now let's get on trend with CES 2025 and dive in. To understand how technology changes, we first have to understand the people behind technology. How are we changing? Political, economic, and sociocultural shifts certainly impact tech adoption and use. However, it's generational change that cuts at the very core of the evolution in the relationship between humanity and technology. The rise of Gen Z represents big change. Born between 1997 and 2012, Gen Z represents the largest global generation ever, representing about a third of the population. Further, 9 out of 10 members of Gen Z reside in South America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. Therefore, when watching for emerging technology, we need to understand and think about how the innovations that emerge address the needs and preferences of this cohort and in these countries. And that can affect things like connectivity all the way to e-commerce and logistics. And we need to watch Gen Z even more closely today, because if you're looking at this stat that just came up, 27% of the OECD workforce will be Gen Z this year. That's financial and cultural power growing, and it'll allow them to increasingly shape how tech and innovation emerges and the purchase patterns behind it. And it's not surprising. While millennials and Gen X are digitally fluent from the internet, Gen Z grew up with smartphones, meaning they constantly were in connectivity and had connection to the digital world at all times, making them arguably the first true digital natives. Now let's look at how that impacts their tech purchasing patterns. In our US-focused study, we found that 60% of Gen Z are early adopters of tech, meaning that they're comfortable with faster replacement cycles and take pride in owning the latest technologies. We found that on average, Gen Z owns 13 tech devices in their household. I was trying to do the math on ours at home, and it's not even close to that. I'm firmly a millennial, so we're talking about people who really love technology. But I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss how values impact their purchasing patterns. So that I'm firmly a millennial. We found that on average, Gen Z owns 13 tech devices in their household. I was trying to do the math on ours at home, and it's not even close to that. I'm firmly a millennial, so we're talking about people who really love technology. But I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss how values impact their purchasing patterns outside of technology. There's been a lot of secondary research highlighting the increasing influence of sustainability and other cultural values in Gen Z's purchasing habits. Yet you still do see that Gen Z engages in fast fashion and some of the other less than sustainable habits. What it creates is an idea of a value-action gap. And in a compelling study from NIQ and World Data Lab, they found, looking at this gap, that if Gen Z was exposed to products that had multiple sustainability values, like recyclability and energy efficiency, they are 2.5 times more likely to purchase the product, which really showcases that this is a key assessment that marketers and product designers will need to make when building the technologies that Gen Z is going to engage with. Let's take a step back from Gen Z and look at the overall forecast market for US technology. We just released last night our latest one-year industry forecast from CTA, and I'm excited to share some of the news and results here. CTA is projecting that there will be record retail revenues at the US consumer technology industry at about $537 billion in 2025. That's a 3.2% growth from 2024. It signals growth in not just hardware, but also software and services. But like any forecast, these numbers can change, and there's additional added uncertainty this year in our forecast. Our research shows that products that consumers rely upon and love, like smartphones and laptops, are threatened by President-elect Trump's tariff proposals. Tariffs on technology products could lead to a 90 to 143 billion with a B, decline in US consumer purchasing power. So tablets and laptops could decline as much as 68%, gaming consoles as much as 58%, and smartphones up to 37%. We're going to be closely watching this and how these numbers may change over the year and the years to come. But when we're building out and looking at these forecasts, how did we even get to the purchasing pattern with consumers? How does technology increasingly integrate into their shopping journey and really alter US consumer habits in general? In 2024, the AI retail market and virtual try-on markets were $7 billion and $2 billion. By the end of the decade, it will be $7 billion. 2024, the AI retail market and virtual try-on markets were $7 billion and $2 billion. By the end of the decade, it will be $30 billion and $18 billion respectively. That's only 5 years from now. Younger consumers are increasingly driving the virtual try-it-on market, so think those Snap AR technologies that are custom fitting, because let's be honest, there's nothing more disappointing than buying a clothes online and it doesn't fit properly. So this is a key role in reducing online returns. Right now, online returns hold at 18% compared to just 10% for in-store purchases. There's a sustainability story too, because we're talking about reducing waste in that cycle. Overall, it means consumers are increasingly looking to technology to better personalize the shopping journey, to offer savings and improve search. And you can see from the stats coming on here, we just did a study on AI and shopping, awareness, engagement, and impact study just released last month. We found that 64% of US consumers have already used an AI shopping tool. And the ability of AI, especially generative AI solutions, to personalize the shopping journey at the individual shopper level generates 40% greater purchase likelihood. So this underscores the increasing reliance by consumers on seamless technology experiences throughout their daily lives. And it offers a natural segue into our next key theme: digital coexistence. After years of digital transformation defined by the rise of the smartphone and cloud computing adoption, we've entered a new era where these technologies are now commodities for businesses and individuals alike. With hybrid work, hybrid education, and even omni-channel commerce, consumers and enterprises expect technology to co-work, collaborate, coordinate, and cooperate with them. We expect digital coexistence. There's a marketer in me with all the co-words there. Let's look at what this means for the enterprise. It starts with hardware innovation that has been revitalized by the rise of generative AI. It builds almost like a formula into the modern enterprise. Rapid advancements in the computing and data processing power of chips from firms like NVIDIA, NXP, AMD, who you're going to see at the show, are unlocking new AI and other technological capabilities. Yet semiconductors can only perform their best if software infrastructure tools like Azure, AWS, and more can leverage data into impactful business decisions. Together, they create the interconnected backbone of the modern economy by offering security through improved cyber tools from Bitdefender, scalability through cloud solutions like those from Acto, and simulation of human productivity through AI and robotics to meet a growing productivity gap. Let's dive into AI a bit more. AI will remain a key trend at CES this year. I don't think that surprises, and there's a reason for that. CES 2025 and the year ahead will have a heightened focus on all the return on investment to all the investment we've seen in generative AI and beyond this past year, and it's going to be about how does it increase productivity. There's 3 pathways to watch, and you see them on the screen here. The first is generative AI is naturally evolving into AI agents, which can autonomously do business tasks like payroll management, client relationship management for us. Companies like Chatbase are building customized solutions for companies, and they'll be here on the floor. We'll also see digital twin technology from NVIDIA, possibly Dassault and Siemens on the show floor as well. What this does is virtualize a physical object into a virtual environment, unlocking research and development at a fraction of the cost. That's the Earth 2 that's displayed there. That's a digital twin of the entire Earth that allows for climate forecasting and modeling. NVIDIA we think of as a chip company and GPUs, but they do incredible work on software, and that's here in the digital twin side. And what would CES be without some robots? Humanoid robots are going to be across the show floor, and there's enterprise applications for warehouse management, retail applications, as well as even social caregiving, and that's where companies like Enchanted Tools from France come in. It's not just enterprises, though. It's not just enterprises, though. How many people in this past year have upgraded a technology device in, whether it's a laptop, a phone, or a smartphone? Raise your hands. That's a lot of people. See, we're doing some phone people. It's not just enterprises, though. How many people in this past year have upgraded a technology?
Sorry, when I rewind because I'm taking notes. Je m'excuse quand je recule parce que je prends des notes.
Technology device in whether it's a laptop, a phone, or smartphone? Raise your hands. Not applications, as well as even social caregiving, and that's where companies like Enchanted Tools from France come in. It's not just enterprises, though. How many people in this past year have upgraded a technology device in whether it's a laptop, a phone, or smartphone? Raise your hands. That's a lot of people. Whether it's a laptop, a phone, or people in this past year have upgraded a technology device in whether it's a laptop, a phone, or smartphone. Raise your hands. That's a lot of people. See, we're doing some informal research today as well. What we're seeing is an ongoing hardware upgrade cycle where consumers are getting AI increasing on these devices. AI integration in the next generation of consumer hardware, whether that's a smartphone, a laptop, a TV, or even smart glasses and vehicles, are transforming them from devices to intelligent platforms. And these platforms will offer more personalized experiences through translation services, collaborative digital tools, and even in some cases replace driver's manuals, because let's be honest, they're like textbooks now, with intelligent voice assistants. And it's not just a hype cycle. And that starts with the growing familiarity and understanding of AI by consumers. In a recent CTA study, we found that 93% of US consumers were familiar with generative AI. They're discerning now the difference between overall AI and Gen AI. That's incredible growth, because we were looking at these figures across different countries in Europe, as well as Asia and the United States, and that has seen growth over this past year. And it's only continuing to grow. 61% of US consumers have already used an AI tool at work. So we're already seeing this that AI is collaborating, co-working with them. Dare I say it, it's co-piloting with them. I could talk all day about AI, but I think it's time we dive into our next theme. As a futurist, my job is to sit at the intersection of two big questions. What if, and why not? And I think this next theme, human security, helps unpack that. You have to balance both of those questions as a futurist, because it's important that you stay objective on technology trends, especially in a complex world filled with challenges that are global in nature. And human security really speaks to human rights, like environmental protection, food security, access to healthcare, and others. Technology has an opportunity and role to play in addressing and helping solve some of these challenges. I think we should start with environmental protection, and that starts with the energy transition. For those in the room who aren't familiar, energy transition refers to the pivot of global society from one dominant power source to another. You just saw some images flash on the screen, and it actually shows that while it's a new conference track and category for us this year, energy transitions have been happening throughout the history of society. The first one was firewood to coal. The second one, as you saw, was coal to oil and fossil fuels. We're in the middle of the third energy transition, which is from fossil fuels to zero carbon agreements, which is pretty top of mind because there are many international agreements that countries have signed on to, but companies as well have made public commitments to net zero goals, while also striving to ensure that innovation in items like AI and other data center technologies can continue sustainably. And to advance the energy transition, there are 3 innovation pathways to watch in the coming years. So let's start with infrastructure. What we're talking about here are the companies that are building the power sources directly into our grids. CES exhibitors like 3M are talking about renewable energy infrastructure for solar. Data center technology is even being looked at with companies like Eaton, who are developing cooling technology for data centers. 40 to 60% of emissions from data centers comes from cooling them. That's how massive they are. And you have companies thinking about innovating at that level to secure the energy transition and also power the AI revolution. Grid resiliency, where smart home energy solutions work alongside utility sources to bolster reliability and minimize overall disruptions. It's important to secure the energy transition. And we're going to see companies like Siemens and Samsung showcase how they're working to automate energy operations through AI for your homes and your grids. And of course, experimentation is one of my favorites as well, where we're going to see green hydrogen advancements from SK, but we're seeing a pivot from large technology companies turning from a new role of just being innovators to energy and power purchasers and developers, and nuclear energy is in major discussions from some of the largest companies. And I'm really excited because we're gonna actually see some technology being discussed on modular reactors in Eureka Park by a French company called Ortrera Energy. But it's not always about power sources. There's a sustainability story in environmental protection as well. And by sustainability, we're talking about concepts like recyclability, water conservation, and electronics material design. And at CTA, we took a look at US consumer views on sustainability. First, we examined the value set with 65% of Americans stating that sustainability was important to their tech purchasing decisions. However, only 47% of US consumers have made a tech purchase based on sustainability. This reinforces some of the value action gaps we were talking about earlier with Gen Z. It extends across generations and speaks to the importance of sustainable innovations focusing on convenience as well as multiple value sets to boost sustainable purchasing habits. And we're gonna see plenty of sustainable innovation on the show floor. Companies like Hydrific, who are building smart water use solutions that connect right to your phone. We're gonna see sustainable houses that can be built entirely off-grid, because if it's not about making the grid more resilient, how can you make your home its own microgrid? And House.me is doing that. We're also gonna see Panasonic, who is a leader in battery technology, showcase what we're doing at the materials level for sustainable power generation. I am really looking forward to Panasonic doing a keynote this week. Their theme is well into the future, and it encapsulates this focus on sustainability and other innovations that really bring a better future. Let's move on from environmental protection to another key area of security, which is food security. How do we bolster the food supply chain? It's interconnected with environment, but really we're looking at 3 ways to examine much further. First is automation. We have workforce gaps and shortages, especially in farmhands. How do companies like Kubota develop robotic technologies that help manage farmland? Deere is going to be back at the show this year, and they always bring great vehicles and tractors. We'll talk about that more in a bit, but they also do software and services to boost yield, which is speaking to the amount of harvested agricultural product per unit of land. And then one of my favorites in the conservation story is Nuvilab. This is an AI food scanner that can examine the health and caloric value of food by putting in front of it. It can also examine shelf life. Think about that from a food waste reduction story. This is compelling technology of AI vision systems building out a sustainable future in food. My colleague, Melissa Harrison, last night aptly described all of this as tech to table. I'm hoping that she patents or trademarks that. It really highlights how technology helps communities. But our next key theme that we'll talk about today is how technology literally builds communities. And when we talk about community, it conjures images of smart city or smart community technology, right? Smart traffic lights, autonomous grid operation, which rightly do help craft the community of tomorrow. However, smart community technology alone does not build tomorrow's communities. Strong communities offer connection, comfort, content, and culture. A little bit more branding with all the C words right there. And we'll see that all at play at CES 2025. So let's drive through these one by one, and that is a pun, because our first one is going to be mobility, which is underlining connection. When we're talking about connection, we're talking about how do people move literally from A to B. And CES will again be a massive mobility show with 4 key trends on display: electrification, connectivity, autonomy, and industrials. So let's walk through each of these and what we should expect to see on the show floor and across the multiple halls of the LVCC, the Venetian, and of even Central Plaza. It starts with the large electric ecosystem. It's well beyond vehicles, but you're gonna see all of this across the show floor. First-time exhibitor Scout Motors will exhibit their latest EV models, which bring in tech collaborations from Rivian and Volkswagen. And I'm stressing vehicles here because it's not just cars. We're gonna see electric boats from Brunswick, and even electric flying vehicles from companies like InvoStation that, to be honest, look like flying saucers. I could use one of those for DC traffic, I swear. But the interior of EVs are also quite important as well. So that's where we'll see the latest in battery innovation from exhibitors like BYD Battery, working to reduce charge time and extend battery range. And that's a major challenge to go through. We do find in our research that we've done over the years at CTA that battery range and anxiety is still a hurdle in tech adoption around EVs. And this is where infrastructure, which has been a barrier, requires more innovation to address these anxieties of consumers. And companies like Blink Charging at the show are going to showcase the latest innovation around charging. And electrification also extends beyond the passenger vehicle. So we should look at e-bikes and e-scooter innovations from exhibitors like AMA e-bike to showcase those last mile and micro-mobility solutions. And we're gonna do a little story circle here because alongside the breakthroughs of EV technology, we're witnessing parallel advancements in vehicle sensors and solutions to support electric vehicles. The Scout Motor story we started with, those vehicles are gonna have satellite connectivity on board, which speaks to the connectivity story is only growing. We have sensor and software innovation paving the way for greater connectivity on board our cars, boats, planes, to make them be the software-defined vehicles that we've been talking about at CES over the last few years. BlackBerry, they're going to showcase and display advancements on vehicle software that promotes security and reliability. Continental is pioneering road to cloud with connectivity solutions for vehicles. And Qualcomm will be pushing innovation in more intelligent vehicle cabin solutions for automotives, including via partnerships with firms like LG who are here at the show. So putting all of this together, what does it mean? It means we're advancing towards autonomy, which I believe was the most underappreciated trend in all of 2024, and it will only continue to build momentum in 25. Innovation and autonomy is emerging from a variety of different hardware and solution sensors. LiDAR technology, in particular, continues to drive autonomous innovation with exhibitors like Ava pushing this forward. Meanwhile, Mobileye is here, and they develop intelligent camera solutions for autonomous applications, but they also develop AI chips called the IQ, I like the body part, and it specifically helps power autonomy. And for enterprise autonomous vehicles, Waymo has achieved some very major milestones this year with 100,000 plus weekly rides now, and they've achieved 5 million rides via their robo-taxi fleets. And I'm really excited because at our LIT dinner this week, we will actually have the co-CEO of Waymo to talk about these advancements. I think it's important because author William Gibson has this great quote, which is, "The future is already here, but it's unevenly distributed." And I think that's the case with autonomous driving, where uneven regulations across national, state, and municipal levels are leading to uneven innovation levels. I was talking with our CS co-hosts earlier. They both live in LA. They have seen Waymo's driving everywhere. I live in Arlington, Virginia, outside DC. I've never seen a Waymo, and I think this speaks to this unevenness of it. So at CTA, we really support in working for a national self-driving framework to push forward and even out that autonomous innovation. That's how you get the opportunity to have vehicles like the Xpeng Land aircraft on there. That is a van that has the ability to open up and have a flying vehicle emerge from it. We're talking about ways to beat traffic. This is one of them, and has autonomous capabilities on board. Electrification, connectivity, and autonomy are all trends that are shaping not just the passenger vehicle space, but the industrial vehicle, which are increasingly adopting these operations to be more sustainable and more efficient. And when we think about large vehicle and heavy machinery, there are a few pathways at CS 2025 to watch. First, this is the agricultural story that we're building on from our previous slides. This is where companies like your Komatsu, who's a first-time exhibitor, join John Deere, as well as Kubota in advancing greener and more automated vehicles for farming. Second are construction vehicle companies like Caterpillar, who are increasingly looking to connectivity and autonomy solutions to bolster safety in their industry. Think about the danger that can be on these workplaces. How can vehicle technology assist in safety? And there will be a variety of other technology applications like mining or even trucking solutions from CES exhibitors like Volvo Group to watch unfold in the years to come. Volvo Trucks will demonstrate their vision later this week at their keynote and goals for 2030. And they revealed their own plans as well to push for a zero emissions future for trucking by 2050. That's massive. We're seeing so much of mobility really driving connection in new ways. But what are the other essential parts of the community to look through that we should talk about today? I mentioned comfort. I mean, we're not always on the road, right? We're going somewhere, and usually that means we're going home, which when we're there, we're naturally seeking out comfort, and technology plays a role in supporting this. This starts with the shifting role of the television, which continues its transformation at CES 2025 from entertainment console to a smart home command center. And smart home hubs will further health integration, greater energy management capabilities, and deeper personalization via AI to build the home in a way that supports financial, physical, and overall well-being. This really feels like that push for seamless intersection between tech and humanity throughout the day. It's coexistence. And we're going to see these trends emerge on the show floor. And they're up there right now. Starting with the TV, Samsung and others like LG, Displace, and Hisense will showcase the next generation of AI onboard televisions to better manage your smart home. But they'll also have greater features to really showcase the future of what entertainment looks like. How about this idea of pausing your favorite show and allowing you to buy the outfit of your favorite character right from your TV? Beyond the TV, we'll see the latest generation of robotic vacuums from Narwhal, Roborock, and others. Software solutions from companies like Tuya that can use AI to manage your entire smart home ecosystem, even if your devices have different manufacturers. You can standardize that approach, you can use a TV as your hub, or you can use a software solution like that to manage your devices seamlessly. But who says the smart home is just for humans? Companies like Pawport are offering comfort and peace of mind for your dog with a smart pet door that can lock and set curfews from your phone. I want to know a dog with a curfew. It's incredible. I mean, I'm a cat owner, but still, this is an incredible innovation. But when we're at home, we also seek out entertainment. We seek out content. Content and entertainment play a key role for communities. They represent our culture and offer a platform of self-expression. And you see that through video, audio, and gaming mediums, which, while separate, are increasingly influencing one another. For all mediums, though, content remains king. Every service, every platform, whether that's Netflix, Warner Brothers Discovery, or more, they are trying to have the largest and most exclusive libraries through original content. Or international programming. I mean, look at the Golden Globes and all the wins that Shogun had. And then, of course, there's been a major focus on live content. Let's start with the video side first. You have CS exhibitors like Netflix and Warner Brothers have shifted from on-demand content libraries to securing the rights to live sports. Netflix actually just set the streaming record on Christmas, which is not surprising because one, the Ravens were playing, go Ravens, but also Beyonce was performing at the halftime, and I know so many people were part of the Beehive that night to watch that. And that speaks to a blurring content strategy because that's a musical performer on a video medium and showcase that audio services are also looking to host exclusive live performances on their services. That's how you mobilize fandoms. Think the Beehive, think Swifties, or if you're a My Chem fan like me, MC Army fans. Gaming will also be a focus on live services as well. We've seen the recent success of games like Marvel Rivals, showcasing that this is a trend that is not going away. Publishers are looking to capitalize on the change in gaming, which is change from just entertainment to a predominant social media platform for generations of all ages. And ultimately, these mediums, whether they're video, audio, and gaming, are seeing their strategies blur in an effort to secure audiences through intentional and inclusive programming. And that sounds like marketing speak, but it's really the core and crux of what's going on in this space. And you're gonna see those conversations and more at our C-Space campus across the ARIA, Vidara, and Cosmopolitan at CES. This is a gathering point for advertising, entertainment, and content communities. If you want to know what advertisers, marketers, and media are thinking about, stop by those locations, and you're going to see innovations from content companies like your Warner Bros. Discoveries, your Odyssey, or even European ad tech firms like Criteo that are crafting and monetizing the compelling content that we all enjoy. We also have a pair of compelling and entertaining keynotes lined up with SiriusXM and X joining us. And I see that we're starting to come up on time, so I want to be able to explore our last key theme today: longevity. We've looked at communities today, but where is technology going at the individual level? Biotechnology, digital health, and wellness technologies are converging towards the pursuit of longevity. All right, that sounds like it's evoking a lot of sci-fi imagery, a lot of futuristic moonshot immortality tech, but what longevity is really about is longer, healthier, and better living. Let's start with longer living. There are 3 paths to watch here as well. The first is GLP-1s. If you're not familiar with GLP-1s, you might know them better by their brand names like Ozempic and Zepbound. But these drugs represent more than healthier weight outcomes and habit alterations. And here's a take that I'm going to make on stage today, and I made it last night as well. I think GLP-1s are in a race with AI to be the innovation that has the greatest transformational effect this decade. This drug class does not just radically change and impact the consumer goods market like snack foods, but it will push other health tech companies, especially those in diabetes and sleep apnea, to position and pivot their products in a GLP-1 world. Obesity rates declined for the first time in the US in years, and that was directly linked to the advent of this drug class. And we're going to see that especially shift with direct-to-consumer drug models like those from CS exhibitor LillyCare, which is a subdivision of Zepbound maker Eli Lilly. 2 other paths to watch quickly. Precision medicine, which leverages AI to personalize drug development at the individual level. You're seeing this thread run throughout this, and it's very intentional. AI is about personalization, getting down to the individual level with all the data we're producing. Second is remote care. This critically brings the care of medical professionals into the home through medical device technology that transmits your data directly to your care provider, like an exhibitor like Pratika, which is a wearable device that can detect wound recovery and transmit that back to your doctor. And if we're living longer, that means we're aging in place. CTA recently released a study that examines trends in this sector. I think one of the most fascinating insights that come out of our study is that 80% of US consumers consider smart home products as age tech. So think products like smart doorbells, smart smoke detectors, etc. And what we're talking about here is ultimately a blurring line between smart home and health tech. Smart home is actually going to be a major part of this healthier living story, and that's why these categories, devices, and products are going to be brought together at the Venetian campus at CES this year, alongside those next generation of startups in Eureka Park. And you see this convergence play out in age tech product ownership. 52% of US consumers own at least one of the top 10 perceived age tech products. That's a list that does include smart doorbells, digital blood pressure monitors, smart smoke detectors, sleep breathing devices, and OTC digital hearing aids. Think about what EssilorLuxottica will be on the show floor has done with hearable glasses like the Nuance Audio, which is a chic way to make up for any hearing loss in a way that avoids stigma and goes to the care of the individual as well. And this is quite a mix of smart home and digital health products. And we'll see more of that healthier living on the show floor as well. We'll see companies like OnMed who are rethinking telehealth with clinic-in-a-box stations that have digital health devices, including a stethoscope that will drop down and transmit real-time vitals to a telehealth professional who is displayed on a life-size monitor within the station. Think about what these care stations can do for rural communities with low connectivity, or college campuses where it can offer privacy and discretion in many ways. This is the next evolution of telehealth. Digital devices, like those from Withings, will utilize advanced machine learning and AI to provide that personalized insight on health statuses. And we're gonna have Whoop, a first-time CES exhibitor, here to demonstrate how wearables continue to add more features to empower consumer health decision-making, right? We are producing so much data on these wearables. It's not just steps anymore. It's not just heart rate. We're actually finding in research that came out from a secondary study, they found that a Fitbit has the ability to detect diseases like bipolar disorder based on your pacing data. That is what this data is leading to. It's how do you leverage it into more insights and personalization, because humans are never just one condition, we're systems. How do we treat the entirety of our being? But what is the point of living longer and living healthier if we don't feel better as a whole? And this is where mental health, accessibility, and even beauty technologies play a critical role in offering wellness solutions. Swiss firm Nutrix is unveiling a new non-invasive hormone sensor called CortiSense. It detects cortisol levels. It can monitor your mental health remotely and transmit that data to doctors. Glidance is taking innovation in autonomous vehicles and bringing it to guide robots for blind or low vision individuals. I actually did not know this until a couple weeks ago, talking to a colleague. Not everyone that's blind or has low vision actually can qualify for a guide dog. So here's a company adapting vehicle technology into a solution to bridge a gap in care. Accessibility was one of the bright spots of last year's show, and it will continue to be one this year because it's about designing inclusively for everyone. And of course, beauty tech. Think technology like L'Oreal's Brow Magic, which combines 3D printing technology from another CES exhibitor, Korea's Prinker, with L'Oreal's own augmented reality technology to recommend custom brow shapes for you and can help inspire confidence. Because you're all worth it. So what does tomorrow look like at CES 2025 and beyond? From this presentation today, I think it's clear that innovation will be more human-centric than ever by leveraging data to personalize tech outcomes. But I am a futurist, so I should probably make a prediction while we're talking about specific technologies to watch, and we should watch quantum technologies. We're seeing quantum as a new track at the show for the first time with a half day of programming from Quantum World Congress, and that is a reflection of the momentum of the technology that has been made in terms of innovation over the last few years. In 2019, IBM brought their first quantum computer. We're having our first track at the midpoint of this decade, all setting up to the 2030s, because if the 2020s are the intelligence decade, then the 2030s will be the quantum decade. So we've come to the end of the presentation. I promised the QR code would be back, and there it is. I just want to thank you so much for attending today. I hope you all have an amazing CES 2025. Thank you so much.
I'll be back very soon.